Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to take a look at, well, my personalized anniversary video here. So watch your Raid recap, Raid second anniversary video. I'm sure you guys have already seen it. You get a bunch of free stuff if you just even pretend to share the video. All I did was just download it and I got my reward, so you guys should do the same.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun, you make it not that way.
And I'm sure it's already been a couple days. You guys have already seen this in game. What I wanted to do is share my video with you guys, show you my #1 most used champion, and then do kind of an updated guide on him because it's been over a year since we did our initial guide on this champion, and a lot has changed inside the game since then. He's one of the most popular champions inside the game. Without further ado, let's go ahead and check out my video. If you don't want to see it, guys, fast forward about a minute. Alright guys, so how do those stats compare to yours? What was your most used champion? Please take a second right now, even if you don't usually drop a comment, and let me know. I want to see a comment section just filled with, I need over 1,000 comments on this video. Well over. I'm shooting for 2,000 of you guys to tell me who your #1 most used champion was. On my free-to-play account, I will give you the spoiler without having to make you watch the entire video. It was Kale. I imagine Kale, Cold Heart will be a lot of the popular ones. Maybe some of you guys are like me with Royal Guard. I am shocked that like Scylla the Drakes was not on my list, but I don't know if this was just 1 year, 1 calendar year. I imagine it was. I am shocked that Biggin was on my list because Biggin is a champion that really I haven't used and it feels like forever at all, period, other than just Faction Wars. So very interesting there. What about you guys? Were you surprised at some of the results? In my dungeon runs, I had, what, 32,000 or so runs, but Spider was about half of those, all the silver farming, right, that I'm spending in this game. So there you go, guys. That is it. I really enjoyed that video, guys. I don't know about you, but it was cool to see those personalized stats inside the game. I already have a couple videos ready to go live before this one, so unfortunately can't share this video the day that the information kind of went public, but hopefully you guys will still enjoy me sharing that with you guys as well. Can't wait to read who you guys have. So my #1 most used champion inside the game is Royal Guard. Surprise, surprise. Again, it has been a long time since we went over, Royal Guard. He's a beast. And you know what? I'm looking at his gear here. I don't think I've changed his gear in forever. I don't have him in an ideal artifact build, but I will tell you about, what I have and why I have it in a second here. Why is Royal Guard so good? Well, he has no big deal. It's a 65% chance at placing the strong version of decreased defense for 2 turns on his A1. On his A2, no big deal, just doing millions of damage on an AoE attack based on enemy max HP on a 4-turn cooldown. Hamstring is often kind of forgotten about in his already just amazing kit because it's a great ability, but it's no takedown, right? Hamstring attacks 4 times at random. Usually I don't like those skills, but this one's really good. Each hit has a 75% chance when booked at placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Also has a 75% chance at decreasing the target's turn meter by 25%. Think about it. In a lot of champions kits, Hamstring would be like, oh wow, that's a really, really good ability, but it's almost again an afterthought in Royal Guard's kit because he is that good. But wait, there's more. The aura on Royal Guard. Dude, I use him as my aura lead in pretty much every dungeon, except for Fire Knight, right? Increase ally attack in dungeons by 35%. That is legendary-esque. As a matter of fact, it's better than most legendary champions inside the entire game for dungeon attack aura. So incredible champion. All right, guys, so I wasn't happy with the masteries that I had on my Royal Guard now that I looked at them, and it was only one mastery that I didn't have, but it was an important one, so I want to redo them with you. If you guys don't care, again, feel free to fast forward a little bit here. So Deadly Precision, obviously, and Keen Strike, but the left-hand side of the offensive tree is really important. And what I did was I came down and I grabbed Single Out, and then I kind of took my way down to the right-hand side and ended with Flawless Execution, which is totally fine. However, you really want to take advantage of a few of these on the left-hand side of the offensive tree. Heart of Glory as well. This is going to increase damage by 5% when attacking with full HP. That 5%, any of these percentages on a champion that's doing damage based on enemy max HP is going to be insane, right? So that could be the difference between 50,000 to even 100,000 damage on that 5%. Same thing with Bring It Down. Very important that you have this mastery. Increases damage inflicted by 6% when attacking targets with higher max HP. That's going to be bosses, and he does really, really well against bosses. Newsflash, he's really good. We're going to grab Whirlwind of Death. We're going to grab Cycle of Violence. We're going to come down, grab Blood Shield, and pick up Flawless Execution, and then I want to only pick up one tier 5 mastery on the offense tree personally. And again, never blindly copy anybody else's masteries. Go with what you think works for you, your team, and you know your champions, your account, and your teams better than anybody else. So don't just blindly copy anybody. We're going to go with Evil Eye. We're also going to go with Master Hexter, and Sniper is really, really good on Royal Guard because, again, the A1 has a decreased defense. What was it, 65, 70%? I forgot what it was, 65, I believe. I already forgot, man. I'm getting old or something. I don't know.
Best thing about getting old is you're not responsible for remembering things.
On his A3, though, all of his debuffs, decreased speed and the decreased defense, are going to be helped by Sniper because they're not a 100%. So we definitely want to grab Sniper as well. I really like these masteries for Royal Guard, at least for my Royal Guard. Let me know what you think. All right, guys, so for artifacts on Royal Guard, I think I've shown you guys this before, but I have a Daze set. Daze is one of the worst artifact sets in the game, at least in my opinion. However, you know what? I had some really, really good Daze gear once upon a time, and I just had it sitting there, and all this legendary artifacts in my artifact kind of collection, and I'm like, dude, why not use this? Like, why not put it on a champion? And, you know, listen, he's putting them to sleep. Cool, whatever. Odds are I'm most likely waking them up anyway, but if you put an enemy to sleep and they have very close to a full turn meter, they're still going to lose that turn. So I think it's not the worst set in the world. It's better than no set at all. However, most people choose to go on Royal Guard, stacking up more critical damage, stacking up more attack as well. So those are better artifact sets, generally speaking, but I think it kind of proves a point. I thought about taking all this gear off of him and putting him in, you know, more traditional gear, crit rate, crit damage, whatever offense. However, you know, I thought to myself, just leave it on so you can make the bigger point that sometimes you might not have every single set that your friends, your clanmates, your YouTube or whatever recommends you use. It doesn't mean you can't use these sets, especially if the gear is really good, which is the case here. So this is the Royal Guard that I use. Like, I have 2 of them built, but this is my main Royal Guard, if you will. Weird that he's in Daze, but we make it work. We make it work. So he has attack percentage on the chest. He has crit damage on the gauntlets. He has speed on the boots. And again, here we're looking for, you know, crit rate, crit damage, speed, and accuracy, and attack percentage. Those are kind of our stat priorities. This dude is doing a lot, which is a great thing, and it's also a bad thing because, well, I guess it's not a bad thing, but beggars can't be choosers here. But when you have a champion who brings a lot of utility to the table, it's difficult because we're trying to prioritize attack percentage, speed, trying to prioritize crit rate, obviously, crit damage, and accuracy as well. So we're trying to do a lot with this champion. Can be more challenging to build. We had a really nice double roll on attack, so 25% attack with the glyph there. We also have crit damage with a lot of accuracy on the amulet, and then we have accuracy banner on him. I'd love to get him into an attack banner eventually and try to find the accuracy in other places. Heck, you could even go with, you know, an accuracy set or something like that, or two, especially in the early game and mid game of Raid Shadow Legends. Accuracy sets are so good. So good. 40 accuracy on 2 artifacts is a lot, especially in the early and the mid game. Anyway, guys, that is kind of the rundown on his build that I have him in here. Trying to think of anything else. Oh, I guess one thing to note here on any any champion that does damage based on enemy max HP, like Royal Guard, like Cold Heart, even if you have to make some sacrifices at attack, go ahead and do so. I'd much rather have way more crit damage on this champion than way more attack. We see some people with their Royal Guards built with well over 300% on the critical damage. So where do I use this dude? Well, I guess the better question is, where don't I use this guy? Arena, I don't use him. Everywhere else, I kind of do, pretty much against bosses. I obviously not against Fire Knight or bad affinity matchups. I've shown you my main Spider team before. I'm not going to change it into a free-to-play friendly video or team like I normally do here. I'm just going to show you my main teams that actually use Royal Guard. That's the whole point of this video. He's my #1 most used champion. Let's show off how I actually use him and the teams that I actually use him on. So this is my Spider team. There he goes with a 1.5 million damage AoE. The most important components of this team, well, 2 Cold Hearts. I mean, right? It's a pay to win. It's a pay to win team. 2 Cold Hearts and a Royal Guard. And then all we have is a decreased defense champion or a debuffer in Venus. And then Mashald we have in there for the increased crit damage. Now, if you have another, like, you could easily use the same team. Let me show you another combo with this team. Take out Venus and Mashald, make it a little bit less pay to win here, and just put in Stag Knight. You're gonna see, I might lose a few seconds, but you know, who cares? A few seconds. So where the heck is Stag Knight? So Stag Knight, and you can use Archmage Helmet, who's really good in Spider, guys. And he has increased crit damage as well. Of course, even if you don't have Archmage Helmet, a champion like Battle Khazar is used a lot in Spider for the extra damage against poison. So you have a lot of options on a team like this. Granted, you still have to have a couple Cold Hearts or a few Royal Guards or whatever. The crux of the matter is having a few enemy max HP champions on the team. Now with decreased defense, as opposed to decreased defense and weaken on the Spider, we did around 1.3 instead of 1.5 million damage. Let's see if that comes back to haunt us on kind of the back end here with the Heartseekers. There's one. Yeah, we're definitely not going to kill him there, or kill her, excuse me, Spider Mother. I don't wanna do this anymore. But it's not going to be that much longer, right? We're going to be able to keep the team alive pretty well. An Archmage Helmet is nice because he has the stuns as well. I mean, look at all those stuns on the Spiderlings. We won't have to put up with that many of them. We're probably going to lose 1 Royal Guard. One Cold Heart. We don't even lose 1. So again, a little bit longer of a run here, but we're using a more accessible team, albeit still epic champions here, but it still gets the job done. So let's go ahead and sell that and move along here to Ice Golem, we can run him as, there's so many Ice Golem teams, but actually, listen guys, I'm not going to show you all the traditional dungeons. We'd be here all day, right? I use him in Dragon's Lair, I use him in Ice Golem, I use him in Spider's Den, okay? You guys kind of get the gist, right? But what I want to do is show you him in some Doom Towers. So let me see what teams I'm using him on now. I'll be right back. All right, guys, here we are at floor 110 of the Magma Dragon on hard difficulty, guys. So by the time of this recording, I believe the new bosses will be added into the game as well. But for me, this is the hardest boss that I actually use Royal Guard on right now. We don't have to worry about his accuracy against this boss because we already have another debuffer on the team for decreased defense in Lydia. And decreased speed, the Magma Dragon is actually immune to decreased speed. Even champions that do damage based on enemy max HP, keep in mind that they can only do 10% of the damage. So really it's going to take him a while to actually chip away at the Magma Dragon. But at the end of the day, he's still going to be very effective. Still, in my opinion, one of the most effective damage dealers onto the Magma Dragon. I sometimes use Krutraxa instead of Royal Guard, just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I haven't really figured out who I like better, but I want to throw the question to you guys here as we approach the Magma Dragon. Which bosses or which areas of the game, if you're lucky enough to be an owner of Royal Guard, which areas of the game do you use him in, especially areas that I have not shown on this video? Again, I do use him in my main team as an Aura lead in Ice Golem and in Dragon's Lair on my best team, so definitely helpful to get that 35% attack Aura boost on the rest of the team as well. So what I'll do here is, I was gonna say I'll cut to the end, but let's see how much damage he does on the takedown. We do lose, we have 2 provokers on this team. By the way, Super again, pay to win team here. He's going to be doing 341,000 damage pretty much on every hit, 10% of the total HP of the boss. Let me tell you about how this team works and quickly apologize for it being so pay to win. Listen, I like to be free to play friendly as much as I can, accessible on all of my teams that I share here on the channel, on normal champion guides, talking about the champions surrounding them. This video is a little bit different. It's about a champion that I use the most in teams that I actually use him on. I wouldn't say this is a traditional guide here on the channel. However, with that said, listen, if you think you can beat Doom Tower difficult with 100% free-to-play accessible teams, maybe somebody out there can, but I haven't seen it yet personally. Let me know if I'm wrong though. But this is the real-life team that I use. I have 2 provokers on this team along with the Ally Protect. So, provoker number 1 is War Chief. Provoker number 2 is Krisk the Ageless. I have Lydia as my debuffer on this team, and I have Duchess as my support / revival on this team. So, a lot of debuffs up all the time, or a lot of buffs, excuse me, up all the time. I prefer Lydia against these more challenging Doom Tower bosses, as opposed to like a Dracomorph, as opposed to a Venus, kind of other really good debuffers who do more damage, because I really like having that strengthen buff on my teams as well. So that's kind of how this team works. You can see the provoke on the Magma Dragon. We're going to try to keep that up pretty much all the time to keep the rest of the team alive. And you can see, boom, 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 Royal Guard going in there and dealing a ton of damage, even despite, where is it? Is it the last passive here? Yes. So Almighty Strength, damage from skills that scale based on enemy max HP cannot exceed 10% of the boss's max HP when attacking the boss. So even with the 10%, some people thought that would be the end of champions like Cold Heart, like Royal Guard, but no, they're still proven to be the most effective, some of the most effective damage dealers in the game against these bosses. Also, you can see here, guys, immune to Hex, block cooldown skills, freeze, true fear, free, blah, 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 and decreased speed. Also immune to HP balancing, cooldown increasing, and turn meter reduction effects. So we don't have to worry so much about his accuracy only being 250. If he wasn't immune to decreased speed, of course we would just run Royal Guard with 300 plus accuracy against these more challenging Doom Tower bosses. Now, again, the new Doom Tower bosses should be added to the game by the time most of you guys are watching this video. So I'm very curious to hear if you guys have gone up against them yet. Odds are probably not, just given the timing on this video. But I'm curious, what I'm trying to get at here is I'm curious to see if I use Royal Guard against those new bosses as well. My hunch is probably. But we will see. So there's another takedown, another 341,000 damage. And here, as we wrap this one up, again, guys, I could be here for an hour and a half on this video, showing you every dungeon that I use this dude on. The only area I don't use him in is, I use Seer as my main nuker for the waves in Doom Tower. So I don't really use Royal Guard, but heck, I could probably use Royal Guard again. No, I can't use him as a dungeon, as an Aura lead, because that's for dungeons. So yeah, I lean on Seer for the Doom Tower waves. But, you know, in terms of the bosses that I showed you guys in this video, Royal Guard is my man. I'm not shocked that he is my most used champion inside the game. So is it the fastest run known to man against this Magma Dragon? No. But again, it gets the job done. And in case you guys missed it, even with 253 accuracy or so, we're still landing that decreased defense off of his A1. I saw it go up there in the last round, and there's another takedown, and we're almost there. Let's go ahead and do the sign off here, guys. Let me know if, again, reminder, let me know who your most used champion is. I can't wait to read. I wonder if there's going to be any kind of weird, you know, off-meta choices. My gut says probably not that many of those champions, but it'll be interesting to see if someone has like Deathless or something as their most used champion. So of course, Royal Guard puts out 2.8 million damage. No surprises there. He's really the only damage dealer on the team. And there we go, 142 turns. That's all. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, take care, guys.